Moving on from that, unfortunately, one player who will not be winning the Ballon d'Or this year is Martin Odegaard, Arsenal's
Mm.
captain. He's been in the headlines of late, quite heavily criticised, especially for that display in the first leg against PSG. I think he only created one chance, didn't have a single shot. But at the same time, in the Premier League, he set up Rice's goal against Bournemouth with a lovely assist. I think I saw a stat. He's now set up a goal in three consecutive Premier League games for the first time in his career. So, in your eyes, all the criticism of late of Odegaard, is it justified?
Uh, it's tough. Is it justified? Not the level of criticism, I don't think, or certainly some of the, not even criticism, some of the just of social media rubbish that I've seen and that I kind of deal with and get sent my way on Martin Odegaard. Some of the comments just like, what are you talking about? Get out of my club, sell him, take the captaincy off him, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's just absolute rubbish. He's not in a good run of form. He's had a largely disappointing season, no doubt about that, and certainly of late his form has pretty much fallen off a cliff. And he was really disappointed in that first leg. So criticism, yes, you're Arsenal captain. You're going to be, if you get criticised, you just got to take it because that comes with the territory, and I'm sure he understands that. But some of the level of criticism, I think, has just gone too far and it is too over the top. I also don't think he's been helped at all by the club and the squad building and Mikel Arteta. This is a time when you're as out of form as Odegaard is, really should be able to come out of the team and be given a bit of a rest and let other people take on the creative burden and the burden of leading the press and doing so much stuff that he has to do in a game. Because Arteta doesn't trust anyone else to do that position. It's basically playing every single game when you're so horribly out of form. So I don't think the manager's helping him. I don't think the squad building has helped him at all. So I think there's got to be a lot of context. It's just this is Arsenal. He's one player of the season, the last two seasons. He's not a bad player. You don't become a bad player overnight. He's an exceptional footballer. He's a player that I love watching when he's on it, but he also needs a little bit of help and he needs protecting, and he hasn't really had that help from Arsenal this season. As soon as he's come back from his first serious injury he's ever really suffered in his career, he's basically being asked to play every single week in every single competition because there's no one else who the club trusts to do that job. So they've got to look at that. I think it's something they need to look at the summer. I think they should have looked at it last summer as well. They didn't do that, and so they need to learn the lessons as well. So yeah, I think he's not been in great form. That's undeniable. He wasn't great against PSG. And would I expect him to have a brilliant game tomorrow? Probably not, because nothing really suggests that he will, because he's just really out of form and short of confidence. But people writing Martin Odegaard off, I would not, I would never be in that position yet. I'd fully expect him to come back next season with a summer rest behind him, and just remind us how good a footballer he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's curious what you said there about, Arteta or the club not really trusting anyone to do that job. I mean, I was surprised that Arsenal or Arteta went as strong as he did against Bournemouth. I thought maybe you could trial Waneri in that number 10 role. We know he can play there. Were you expecting that? Are you surprised that Waneri's not had more minutes in that position?
I was really surprised he didn't play against Bournemouth.
Mm.
I like you. I just thought it was a perfect opportunity. You had Odegaard coming off the back of a really poor performance against PSG, where there was a lot of spotlight on him. Why did he need to play against Bournemouth? Just take him out of the firing line, give him the day off. Play Ethan Waneri there, who needs the minutes and wants the minutes, and could have done something a little bit different. But again, he just played Martin Odegaard, and I'm just not sure why you really needed to do that. And so yeah, it's just another example for me of Odegaard playing just too many minutes, and there not really being a level of trust there to play anyone else in that position. I understand it. Like, Waneri, as talented he is a really young kid, and that position it's more than just being a playmaker. You do that Odegaard's role in the team is so important in terms of, like I said, the press and how he sets it all off, dropping deep, getting the ball off the centre backs, bringing it out. There's so much being asked of him in that position that mentally, it must be exhausting as well as physically exhausting. And maybe Mikel thinks that Ethan's just not there yet to be able to cope with everything that comes from playing in that position. But for me, I just thought it was a perfect time to give him a bit of a go and to take Odegaard out the firing line.
Yeah, completely agree. And what you said there about Odegaard, you think he's low on confidence. Maybe that ankle injury is still affecting him slightly. Is he also a victim of Arsenal's other injuries? I look at Kai Havertz in particular. I mean, Odegaard's not been feeding a proper striker for a few months. Of course, Mikel Merino's done a very good job up there, but he's not a striker in the sense that Kai Havertz or Gabriel Jesus are. And that right-hand side, we've talked a lot about Arsenal's right-hand side, the build-up. Havertz will often drift out to that side to help with the build-up and link with Martin Odegaard. Has Havertz's absence in particular really harmed Odegaard's form, do you think?
I think it hasn't helped. Yeah, I mean the pair of them get on really well. They've got a good understanding there. I mean, you look at the goal that he set up at the weekend. When you have a striker in front of you who makes runs, and I know Declan Rice isn't a striker, but when you got someone in front of you making a sort of forward run, a striker's run, Odegaard will find them more often than not because he's got the ability. You look at last game he played for Norway. I think he got 3 assists or something like that in that game. You know, he can find forwards, he can find the pass. He's got that quality, but just haven't really had that at Arsenal this season. We haven't really had a proper striker, certainly since Kai Havertz has gone away. And, you know, you can question whether Kai Havertz is what you'd call a proper striker anyway. So, yeah, I mean, all of that sort of stuff hasn't helped. Not having Saka for large periods of it, the White Saka Odegaard axis not sort of being dismantled this season because of injuries and things like that. There's been so many reasons why Odegaard's season hasn't been great, but you can't. That's not just a full excuse for why his performances have dipped. You know, you still need to look at Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United this season. They've been a shambles, Man United, and they've had so many injuries as well. But Bruno still more often than not, if someone's going to do something and rescue that team, it's going to be Bruno Fernandes, whether it be a goal or assist or something special. And that's kind of where you want Odegaard to be right now. When even when things are down, you want him to be able to change things, and he hasn't been able to do that this season. So that there is, you know, individual performances have not been great for him. But again, I think there are reasons that you have to talk about when you sort of analyze fully where things have gone wrong for him so far.